Rihanna and welcome back to my channel 5 Minute Economics, where I teach economic concepts in a span of just 5 minutes. The topic for today is product life cycle, and in this video we'll be covering all the 4 stages of the product life cycle. So yeah, let's get started. Also guys, don't forget to like this video and do subscribe to my channel in case you haven't already, and also follow me on my Instagram handle 5Minute Economics for further updates. So firstly guys, let me introduce to you what exactly is the product life cycle. So basically it refers to a time period when a product is introduced in the market till the time it is removed from the shelves. So the literal meaning, the product life cycle. So the life cycle of a product starts when it is introduced and it ends when it is removed from the shelf. So we are going to study all those stages which are involved in getting the product, and then eventually we'll be studying the stages, and then eventually it is removed from the market. So basically guys, why do we use this cycle, or it actually helps us to decide when do we have to advertise the product, when do we have to reduce its price, when do we have to expand new markets, and when do we have to redesign the packaging. So through this PLC, we decide all these things which are of course important for a product to be promoted, to a product to sustain in the market. Here under PLC, we will be studying the all 4 stages, which are introduction, growth, maturity and decline, and we'll be doing all these in detail. So basically guys, before it is actually introduced, the product comes in the market when someone has an idea. Someone gets an idea, okay, we should launch this product, and for that idea to sustain, we do an R&D, like research and development, and we find out whether it is feasible for that product to come in the market, whether does it have potential or is it of no use to get in the market. All that is done, and eventually only then is the product introduced in the market. So going ahead, we'll be studying all the 4 stages in detail. Coming to the very first stage of the PLC, which is the introduction stage. As the name suggests guys, at this point of time our very product is introduced in the market. When a product is introduced in a market, what do we expect as a customer? Just think for a second. We would expect something like a low price, okay? We would expect a lot of advertising, only then do we come across the new product, right? We would expect something which might be different from the other sellers, then why would we buy from here or buy that product? So all those things are actually mentioned. So this, if you just think like you just have to use your brains and think that way. And if you are thinking from a producer point of view, of course you have to have low prices, only then initially your product will be settled in the market. So that is all actually which I'm going to read out to you now. First time it is introduced in the market, at this point of time you have to do substantial advertisement and marketing campaigns to make the consumer very much aware. Let's talk about, I have 2 examples in my mind, so I'll just tell you both of them. An energy drink, back in the day none of us actually knew what are energy drinks. Like, let's talk about 7-8 years down the line. But Red Bull, now it is one successful campaign that now people, even while studying for exams, they have Red Bull next to them, and they have it because it gives you energy. So some years down the line, no one would have experimented, a drink which would give you energy, no. But they did that marketing, they did that campaigning, and they established themselves in the market. Okay, are you a coffee lover or a Red Bull lover? What makes you awake at night while studying for exams? I am team coffee. I don't like Red Bull's taste at all. Let me know what team are you in, guys. Second example which came to my mind was Nykaa. When Nykaa was launched, I think I was in college. At that point of time, I was like, cosmetics online, what if I get a fake lipstick or a fake blush? I was a little hesitant to buy from Nykaa. But now, talking about, after its launch, or after it being so much established in the market, and I close my eyes and I can purchase any XYZ from Nykaa, because I know their products are trusted. Why? Because they proved themselves, they gave you offers, they gave you free deliveries, they gave us big brand ambassadors, which made us have that trust in the brand. So initially you have to have that high advertising and marketing, and through marketing we can have people We have Alia Bhatt, Katrina Kaif being the initial brand ambassador, actually being the co-owner of Nika as well, and then Janvi Kapoor, and now we have so many, I think even Kiara Advani. So of course, initially they did that investment. You have to do that initial investment. Only then you can be successful in the market. At that point of time, maybe you have little or no competition because the competitors are still observing. Okay, what's new in the market? Let me see what product are they launching. So I mean, at that point of time, you don't have much of competition because you are very new. Even those who are settled in the market, they will be like, "Arey, ye to abhi naya aaya, dekhte kitne din tikta hai," right? That way. So only if you're successful, then all the competitors' eyes are on you. Then negative financial sales, definitely, even though you are a big brand, initially you will face a little blow because you are investing so much. The return, that sales will be pretty much slow in the beginning when a product is launched, and of course, promotional pricing is low. So because if you start with a very expensive price, no one's going to buy it. So initially you have to have that low price. So this is what happens in the introductory stage. Okay guys, so now we move on to the second stage, which is known as the growth stage. Now obviously guys, only if we are successful in the introductory stage will we come to the growth stage. If your product fails, no one's buying, you are just facing a big loss, why would you go to the great growth stage? So here guys, we move to stage 2. In this stage, of course, there is growing demand, there is increase in production. Why will there be growing demand? Because your product is successful now, as in now people know about your product, so there will be more demand, more production, more popular, more recognizable. They will also improve the product somewhere or the other, because people are using that product, they might give you a customer feedback, okay, you should do this, you should do that, and that way we can even have more sales. At this point of time guys, don't think that we will stop investing. In fact, we will still heavily invest, because at this point of time we are in the eyes of the competitors. Initially I told you competitors are like, acha dekhte hain ye tikta bhi hai ki nahi market mein, but now because you have been in the market, you have established yourself in the market, competitors have full eyes on you, and at this point of time you have to invest heavily on your product as well as the advertising, so that your growth stage becomes bigger. Of course guys, sales will be higher, revenue will be higher definitely in comparison to the first stage, and we will decrease the price. Now don't think now because we are established in the market we will increase the price. No guys, whatever mehnat you've done before, it will go down the drain if you increase the price, because people are attracted to low prices come what may. So definitely decrease the price, because there is competition in the market, so you will lower the price, which will increase your sale. Your main focus is increasing sale, generating revenue, and not increasing actually profit, but moreover increasing the sale, due to which you will lower the prices. So I hope you are clear with this second stage. Moving ahead to our third stage, which is the maturity stage. Now as you know guys, this is like that time of your life when you're mature, when you're settled, when you're at your peak of your career, or peak of the product year basically. So at this stage we have the most amount of profit, because it's the most profitable stage, because we have established ourselves in the market, everyone knows about the product, everyone has used the product, you have also been brought to given some customer feedback, due to which you have improved the product. So at this point of time our cost of production has declined as well. Why has it declined? Well, those who are associated with economics definitely know economies of scale, due to which our cost of production has declined in the maturity stage. In case you don't know what is economies of scale, very interesting concept, I'll attach its link in the description below. I've made a video on economies of scale guys. So here sales volume is maxed out, like basically if you can say, if we are reaching from this, we are at the peak of the stage, that at this point of time we have maxed out our sales. Now what you have to do, because you are at the peak, you have to innovate the product. Even if you are the best in the market, you have to have something different, right? Like let's talk about Coke. Everyone knows what Coke is, a very huge brand, and we all have Coca-Cola, all of that, but they still keep giving us variants like Diet Coke, Coke Zero, and many others. So of course you have to keep working on yourself. You can't saturate, else you will definitely lose out when someone else comes in the market, and any other competitor just wipes you out. So here, to capture a larger market, we have to have innovation. Competition is highest. Though we said that profit is most highest in this stage, competition is also very high in this particular stage guys. And why is it very high? Because think logically, now even the competitors, they've seen, acha ye sahi chal raha hai, to inke jaisa product banate hain. So initially when you were introduced in the market, no one knew your product. when you were growing. At that point of time, guys, people were eyeing on your product. But till the time you've reached a maturity stage, people have had enough time to replicate your product, to make a substitute of it, due to which you have to keep improving your product. So this is basically the maturity stage, guys. One very nice quote or saying is that when you have a new product, it needs to be it needs to be explained and introduced. A new product needs explanation or introduction, right? But a mature product which has already been established in the market, it needs to be differentiated, it needs to be innovated. You have to be class apart from the others, only then you can sustain in the market. So that's all about this stage, guys. So of course, guys, coming to the last stage, and as the name suggests, the decline stage. Here we have lost the product because due to enough competition from the competitors, we might lose the market share. Company is not interested in marketing at this point of time when already the product is falling. Its sales are falling, no use to market the product. Sales have begun to drop as well. The customers have already decided whether they are loyal or they don't want the product, loyal to the product, or they don't want it at all. At this point of time, there is no confusion, and here from the market the product is phased out. So only one thing can happen is, like, sometimes new generation steps in. So the new generation can do a complete overhaul of the product. So either it can just phase out from the market, or we have a totally overall product introduced again to the market. So these are all the things what happen in the decline stage. Lastly, coming to the advantages of PLC as well as the limitations of using PLC. I thought I'll explain it together only because on your recommendation I have bought a much bigger board than I had ever had, so I can simultaneously explain these because I have a lot of space. So firstly, guys, coming to advantages, of course, because of PLC, the producer tends to better understand the product. It gets the feedback, it knows what to do, which stage it is at, and how does how do the customers react to it, what should the producer be doing. It can also internally shift resources. Okay, if they have 4-5 products, the product which is in the introductory stage needs more attention, so it can have more labor from the product which is in the maturity stage, withdrawn to move to the product which is now being introduced, so it can internally shift resources. It has some positive effects on the economy as well. Number one being innovation. So innovation is the key, guys. We know, and if something is outdated, obsolete, it's not going to ever last. So obviously we have to keep innovating, and if you see, PLC emphasizes a lot on innovation, guys. And lastly, guys, because it helps the producer as well as the customers to have safer, efficient, faster, cheaper, and better suited to client needs. So through all these points are discovered by the producer when it operates in PLC. Again, if something has some good things, it will have some limitations, guys. Number one being that it doesn't work in all industry and all products. Okay, if we think that PLC is successful in all industries, no, it doesn't work that way. Even we've seen that. Okay, let's talk about blue lace. Blue lace is, I think, in its maturity stage since years. It has been at the top. Even if they have that orange lace, they have that red chili, or many more lace being introduced, that blue lace will always be the constant. So it doesn't work that always it will decline. It doesn't work in all cases. Some cases are just rare exceptions. I think from the past 15 years I have been stuck to blue lace only. I will not go and purchase any other lace because that is my preference. So I'm just saying that some products do not follow the PLC. That was one example of it. And sometimes it also happens that producers have this thing to replace the product. Okay, even though when it is at its maturity stage, they sometimes do this to innovate, to introduce new products, which might not be the right thing because it's at its maturity stage. People are getting used to it, customers like it, but still you are replacing it. So due to which PLC goes haywire. So this is all about the product life cycle, guys. I hope this video was useful for you. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next video pretty soon.